Hello, my name is Berta. I'm the regional CEO for Easy Taxi. We are a global taxi app company that belongs to Rocket Internet, world's biggest internet accelerator. And we're very excited to be here in the Philippines.
And my name is Paul Malicki. I'm the Vice President for Business Development, responsible for user acquisition strategies, branding, as well as operations.
All right, so it looks like you have a very interesting application for all Filipinos to enjoy. So can you tell me more? Can you tell our readers more about Easy Taxi? What's it about?
Sure. Easy Taxi is it's a taxi application app. Our objective is really to make safer, faster, and easier for passengers to get a cab. It's about supply and demand. It's about customer experience. We want driver to be happy because they can get passengers, and we want passenger to be happy because they get a tax much easier. That's really what this business is all about. There's no more complexity around that. The complexity comes when you roll out in a city, because each city has its own, logistic problems. Manila, for instance, has heavy traffic, heavy rain, and so there is a complexity around in each city where you roll out.
I understand that you're also doing this in other countries, right? So how is the app doing it in other countries? Because it's going to be quite a new application for the Philippines.
Yes, it's an excellent question. We are actually the biggest taxi app in the world by downloads and by passenger. We are present in 3 continents, 15 countries, and our shift of attention in terms of resources also is a lot towards Asia. We just got $50 million financing to deploy the technology throughout Asia. We are currently present in the Philippines, in Thailand, in South Korea, Taiwan, Malaysia, Singapore is under discussion, and we are looking to other countries which now I can't disclose, but we are heavily investing in Asia, and we're actually a true regional app, because if you download our app here in the Philippines and you use it in the Philippines and you fly to Bangkok with the very same app, no need to download a different app, you can find the taxi. And if you fly to Brazil with the very same app, you can find the taxi. Same as in Colombia, same as in Hong Kong. So we really like the idea of being global, a regional app.
So why did you choose the Philippines? Or maybe why just now in the Philippines?
Why just now is because we wish we had time and resources to go contemporary in 180 countries. We simply don't. Personally, I've been living 3.5 years in the Philippines, not working in this industry. And I'm very bullish about the Philippines. So when I joined Easy Taxi, I said, guys, Philippines really has to be one of our major markets. It's a market that I know very well, and I'm personally really bullish. I mean, all the economic conditions are positive. You are in much better shape than any other country in the Southeast Asia region. Much better shape than your neighboring countries. So I have no doubt that the Philippines is going to be a success.
All right.
And it's also important to mention that we come here not only with our product as a commercial product, as an app. So we want to change the transportation industry in Manila by making drivers satisfied with their job and by making customers feel safe. And there's a negative stigma behind not only taxi transportation, but transportation in general in Manila. And our app, as well as our personal efforts and company efforts, can make this change.
All right, so obviously you'd have to work with different taxi operators or companies for this application to work wonders in our country. So can you tell me more about the different companies, the taxi operators that you're working with for this application?
As we are global, but we like to localize the app, here in the Philippines we apply a unique model. Philippines is the only country in the world where we actually also talk with taxi companies. Again, for the problem related to logistics. So we really adapt the model and talk to taxi companies. We sign up major taxi companies here in the Philippines, and we also have direct relationship with drivers, which is very important for us. We really want the driver to feel and to believe to be part of something very big. At the end, this has to benefit both drivers, passengers, and us as a company. So really the relationship with drivers is our priority.
It's a win-win solution, and we want them to be our evangelists.
All right, so that's great. So can you give me, for example, names of operators that users can expect to get this service from?
I can mention some, because with some of them we have an NDA, obviously we can't disclose. It's easy, you find them in the app, okay? So we have an agreement with Nanin Taxi, with 768, with Navarrete, Jobit, Motori de Manila. It's actually changing name, but it's still under Motori de Manila. And other major. We actually have a contract with the biggest in the country. But we're just in a phase of implementation, so we can't really disclose.
All right. So for operators who would be in the future interested to actually work with you, so they can also contact you.
Absolutely,
Definitely.
We also most of the operators, I have to admit, they've been very generous, because we always offer a part of the revenue share to the operator, and 99% of the operators, they say, if my driver are happy with your technology, I would like to leave all the money to the driver. So it's a very honorable move from the operator.
You need to understand that for operators, it's also about us providing a certain dose of engagement and an improvement in the quality of life of the taxi drivers. You know, their life is simple. They wake up in the morning, they start riding a cab, and they do it for 24 hours. There's no really any, you know, differentiation in that. We really make them happy. We come over to the taxi companies with our amazing team. We talk to them, we make sure that they are happy with the product, we have engagement campaigns, so definitely our relations with operators are on a top-notch level.
All right, so I understand that, of course, you'd have to work closely with the taxi drivers for this application, right? Can you tell me more about the process that you do when you work with them? First, of course, you issue the phone to them, right? So how does it go?
Yes, so training is very important for us, just like relationship. We issue them a phone. We selected a couple of brands, not for a specific reason, because we tested many, and for our criteria, those phones are better. One is Cherry Mobile, and we are assessing another one now. When we distribute,
so what's the exact Cherry Mobile phone model?
Cherry Mobile Flare.
Flare, the first one, or
the two just came. We just got an order, and we start distributing these actually this week.
Wow, that's great. All right.
So when we go, we train the driver. It's very important that the driver understands, first of all, the business model, okay? And he has to understand that this is not a game. We're not giving a phone to download games and to stay on Facebook. Okay.
Do you give it to them for free, or would they have to pay for it?
They have to pay us a weekly installment,
just
because the phone has a cost, obviously.
All right.
We just pass on this very same cost that we pay for it. We're not making money out of this, because we don't sell phones. We don't sell data package. We are in the taxi reservation.
Yeah, you're in the
business.
service.
We are in the service space of it. So we pay 4,000, we pass it on to 4,000. We pay 5,000, we pass it on to 5,000. So absolutely, we make no revenues out of this. Then during the training, it's very important that the driver understand it is a business tool. They always like to use games, etc. We try to educate them to first be very focused on the app. And then if they want to play Candy Crush, they can play Candy Crush. I mean, it doesn't bother us if they play Candy Crush. It bothers if they only play Candy Crush. No, that's a problem. So there's a strong level of education that we need to put in our driver's mentality.
That's why we have really good team of trainers. They spend a lot of time with each single individual taxi driver. It's important to emphasize it's not a group training, it's an individual training, testing of an app, communicating everything what's important for the driver to know. So otherwise, it might happen that they will use Facebook instead of our app.
That's great. So can you give me an idea, for example, for users, for the end users, how will they be able to use the app? How does it go? Can you give me more or less the process by which they can start using the application?
Yes, using an app is simple. I mean, first of all, it's free to download, and you can do it on both iOS and Android, which are obviously the main platforms. Booking a cab is a one-click thing. You just need to put in your address, or wait for our GPS to locate it, which is a great feature. You can also specify the exact location, the exact point, for example, in front of the supermarket or in front of the mall, and the taxi driver will be in that way able to locate you more accurately. And then what's important is that we provide very accurately a bridge between the taxi driver and the customer by having a 24/7 customer service help desk. And if there's any issue because of the traffic or because of the miscommunication or because of the location, our team helps both sides to connect, and our goal is to have a 100% fulfillment rate.
Wow, that's great. So they can just contact you anytime.
Exactly.
Do you have a hotline number for consumers?
We do, but we also call the customers and taxi drivers anytime when there is a need to do so. And the tax, of course, what's also important is that the customer, the user, sees a picture of the taxi driver, his number, so he can call him himself, as well as track the cab in real time. There's a map, you can see the time estimated. Everything is fully measurable and controllable.
All right. So if of course, the application is for free, but will there be additional, for example, fees or payments that they'd have to make for using the application to hail a taxi?
Yes, again, we have to adapt the business model to the market condition of the Philippines. Philippines is the only country where we charge the passenger. In every other country, we actually charge the driver only. So the driver pays us a flat rate every time he gets a passenger from our system.
Right.
But due to the market condition and to the fact that drivers are, a price-sensitive market, we believed and we studied, is actually proved to be effective, that we have to charge something on top of the passenger.
All right. So how much will it be?
There is 70 pesos on top of the meter fare. So it's a flat 70 pesos on top of the meter fare.
All right. So for example, so it's not an additional. So it's more like, for example, if the meter reading is 100 pesos, you'd have to pay 170 to the driver.
Let's call it like a flag down rate.
All right. All right, that's great. So I'm looking forward to trying out the app. I prefer riding a taxi more often these days than driving, mainly because of the traffic in Manila. All right, so can you invite our readers to check out the application and to use it actually to get their taxi day to day?
Well, what can we say? We believe we can do a great job here in the Philippines. We believe we can deliver an amazing customer experience, and we believe we can deliver a safer experience to all of our employees. And
so why don't
that's how it is.
It's a one-click distance. Just specify your address and book a cab.
All right, so it's very easy. So they'd only have to wait for like how many minutes before the cab arrives?
Well, it really much depends on rain or rain traffic. Our goal is to fulfill every ride in within 10 minutes from the minute that the ride got accepted by a driver. We're constantly focusing on putting more supply in the city. But again, during rush hours, making 1 kilometer can take you 45 minutes. So it's very difficult to make a forecast. But our objective and what we achieve also in other countries is to fulfill a ride even within 10 minutes.
All right.
So this will not happen overnight, but definitely it will.
Bear with us.
All right. So thank you so much. We look forward to trying out the application.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thumbs up.